Hi, everybody. Here's a summary of what has been a fairly incredible week. Ends on a high note, and I'll reflect on that later, still with more questions around it. But nonetheless, it's good news from the government that they're going to pay 80% of employees who are not working. So I know that a lot of you been out on the road and you had a chance to see the emails that we've sent out of advice and join the Q&A sessions that we've held with clients Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We've got another one of those on Monday. Hopefully that will follow the announcement by the government as to how these loans are going to work. But with the announcement about the 80% in wages payments, then hopefully for those of you that do need to apply for loans, they're going to be a lot lower than we thought they would need to be. Okay, so the first thing we wanted you to do was to reassess your financial model. And there's two ways you can do this. You could do a full-blown three-way cash flow forecast, projected profit and loss account, balance sheet, and funds flow statement. That's going to be a whole load of work, and you've got a lot of other more pressing things to deal with right now, but nonetheless, it's very important. So the easiest thing to do is to use our break-even tool that we sent out. And for anybody wanting that who hasn't got it, if you're passing this video on to other people, just email me, john.oddy@accentisllp.co.uk, and I will send that to you. It's a simple tool that takes the prior quarter's results and then just incrementally changes them for the effects of the reduced income, possibly increased expenditure, but you are going to be reviewing your overheads, hopefully, and reducing those as well by looking for payment holidays or actually removing some of the overheads completely if they are not essential. Communicate with your team as well. We included some templates on board meetings to have with your team. They're as worried as you are, and they're looking to you for support. And we also have provided you guys with employment law support. All clients of Accentis have employment law advice included within their service with us. The details we've emailed out to you. Because it's a public video, I'm not going to put the passcode and telephone number on there, but if you're a client of Accentis, then you've not got the telephone number and passcode to hand, just email or call the office and we'll get that to you. The next aspect of things we looked at was the financial support. This was the main question that people were raising actually during the Q&As, and have been the topic of telephone conversations throughout the week as well. And there are four main aspects of support that you can get. The first thing, and the best one, is because you don't have to pay it back, are the grants that come through your local council. There's two types. One is for small business rates relief payers. And even if you get 100% rates relief, in other words, you don't pay any rates at all, you're still entitled to this. It's £10,000, and you are, according to the government's website, supposed to wait for the local authority to contact you. Don't do that. Go to them directly yourselves. I used Accentis as a guinea pig today, and as a benefit, we also registered ourselves for the relief as well. And I called Bradford Council, called at the normal business rates line, but you can email them and you'll be able to do the same with your local council. You need to give them your rates payment reference number, and you give them your business name as well, of course, your bank code and sort code and account number, and your telephone number, and they will then put you onto their register. They're not yet authorized to make these payments, but they're expecting the authority from Monday, Tuesday. So if you haven't done this today and you haven't seen the email that I sent out this morning, make sure you get on the phone on Monday morning and get yourself registered. Then you're going to be at the front of the queue, because I imagine when it is announced, they're going to be inundated with calls. So that's number one, is the non-repayable cash grants. I neglected to mention that there's an enhanced version if you are in the hospitality or retail sector with a rateable value of between £15,000 and £51,000. If you fall into that category, you're eligible for £25,000, so it's fairly significant. Again, be proactive and go to the council with that one. So both 10,000 and 25, phone them up and make sure you've got your rate payment reference number and your bank details to hand, and then you're registered. The loans, spoke to a couple of bank managers today. They believe that the loans are going to be along the lines of the small firm loan guarantee scheme, which many of you will be familiar with. What they have said to me is that in terms of the application for the loan, they've had no instructions so far that there's going to be any special leniency according to what are normal bank borrowing rules. So you have to have a business plan, you have to have a viable business proposition, and you have to supply them with conventional cash flow forecasts as well. So, as I've mentioned in one of my prior videos and the emails, please use Fluidly. I've connected all of our clients to Fluidly this week. It's the 3-month version. You will need 12 months if you're going to do an application for funding. And Fluidly have confirmed that upgrading to Pro, and that's the 12-month version of the cash flow forecast tool, is now only £39 a month. So get yourself ready for those loans if you want to apply for them, by making sure you've connected to Fluidly. So that's point 2. Point 3 on the financial support is statutory sick pay. Well, it's 2 weeks of refundable statutory sick pay at some point in the future. There's actually no mechanism for you to get this back yet. And it just says on the government website, in the coming months. I suspect that they're going to probably wait until the software providers like Xero and Sage actually change the functionality of the software so that it will calculate the refundable amount off your normal monthly pay as you earn. But I suspect that's going to be 2 or 3 months before it comes out. And last but not least, time to pay arrangements. Telephone number 0800 015 9559. We understand that the HMRC staff are being extremely lenient. One client said that they were bending over backwards. I find that hard to believe, but nonetheless, one thing to mention is they are extremely stretched. So what we suspect is, even although they've been very generous, we've got reports of people getting minimum 3 months deferment of all payments, and also time to pay arrangements of 6 months. So even although they're offering those, what we understand is that they're inundated at the moment with calls, and they've got a skeleton staff. We suspect that what they will probably do is announce a blanket deferment for everybody for VAT for probably the next 3 months. We'll update you on that as soon as we find out. So those are the 4 things. Just by summary, non-repayable cash grants, 10 and 25 grand, depending on whether you're a small business or whether you're in the hospitality stroke retail sector. Loans, big announcement on Monday. We'll let you know, but it looks like it's exactly the same as the small firm loans guarantee scheme. Sick pay, forget it. Time to pay arrangements for taxes. Yeah, call that number 0800 0159 559. During the Q&A sessions that we had, one of the things that cropped up on there a couple of times was the ability to claim for business interruption insurance. I spoke to my contact in the industry who's an expert and been in it for 35 years. Can you claim for interruption insurance? Short answer, no, you can't. The government are incorrectly saying that it says on the website, businesses that have cover for pandemic and government ordered closures should be covered. According to my contact, you're not, or at least you should proceed on the basis that you have no cover. So don't rely on it. It did prompt an interesting debate, though, about what you should be doing about your insurance now. We had 4 key tips for you in respect of your insurance. Firstly, don't cancel your premiums. You've got an obligation to have employer's liability insurance, regardless of whether your team are working from home or not. And you need to, of course, cover your vehicles as well. It's probably wrapped up in a policy. And also, there's a heightened possibility that you're going to be making a claim on your insurance policies because the fact you're away from the office. It's been mentioned on a number of forums that the undesirables of this world are probably looking at opportunities to steal things from you. Keep your cover in place. I know it's tempting when you're looking at your overheads to think, what can I get rid of? Insurance is not one of them. Second thing to do is to reassess your cover. You've got a lot of people working from home, maybe self-isolating, but still working or just doing home working. It may be that they've taken PCs off site and maybe some furniture. Is it covered while it's off site? You may have also had some CapEx in the last week, buying new PCs and laptops so people can work at home. Just check your insurance policy and make sure that you're adequately covered. Number 3, don't invalidate your cover. So make sure that the conditions of your insurance policy are covered. Some of them say that if you're absent from the office for, say, 7 days, you've got to turn the water off. If you're absent for 2 weeks, you've got to turn the electricity off. All sorts of other clauses. Just go through those and make sure that you don't invalidate them. You may want to make a claim and then they turn around and say you can't claim because of something you could have covered off really simply by somebody going into the office on a periodic basis. Fourthly, security. Do you have an alarm in the office? Have you got CCTV? Has it got cover? Does it go to the police station? Have you at least got an app on your phone? Make sure you've got all that covered. And if you've got any concerns, if it's inadequate, if you're in the Yorkshire area, then Clear Image Systems Limited, who we work with in Bradford, would be delighted to speak to you. www.clearimagesystems.co.uk. They will come and give you an assessment. And the last thing is speak to your broker. Make sure that you're adequately covered in respect of all those things I've just mentioned. Okay, so the big announcement this afternoon, about 10 minutes before I recorded this video, the government to pay 80% of wages for employees not working, up to £2,500 per month. Okay, that kind of raises more questions, doesn't it? First of all, some employees, it says not working, but a lot of people have reduced their employee hours down this week already, down to 50%. Do you have to be completely not working? Or is there some kind of mechanism that's proportionate pay? Not sure about that. What about your freelance self-employed workers? I mean, there's a common in quite a few industries, dental industry, physiotherapists, in the construction industry. Are they covered? There's been no announcement so far on self-employed individuals. It would seem inconceivable that 80% of employees' pay is going to be guaranteed, but self-employed people are expected to go from their earnings at the moment, let's say it's something similar, £3,000 a month, that roughly works out to, down to just being on unemployment benefit. I suspect there's going to be some more announcements next week. What about directors who are currently taking dividends and not taking a full salary? Can we move them straight onto a salary? Again, there's lots of questions, and I suspect that the devil will be in the detail as usual, but it's really positive news. I think what I would do is I would also take this as a bit of a lesson, if that's the right word, in that there's been quite a few companies that have rushed into making their whole teams redundant this week. Even although they didn't have to pay the wages out until the 31st of March, whole teams have been made redundant on the basis that a lack of trust or whatever. But for those employees that have done that, they could be regretting this with this introduction that 80% of the wages is going to be covered. I think the message here is just be patient. There's announcements every day. There's some big announcements supposed to be coming out on Monday. This announcement of the 80% of wages being covered is going to raise questions just like the ones I've mentioned here, and the government are going to be quizzed on this in the press conferences. More detail will come out. Okay, so anybody else wanting those tools that we've sent out, just send me an email. Connect your Xero to Fluidly and monitor your cash on a quarterly basis. I really encourage you to spend another £39 per month and take out the 12-month version as well. We've been using it for over a year. It's excellent. Okay, I'll return to you on Monday with some more advice, but for now, everybody, have a great weekend.